Welcome back. South Africans have earned around 3.8 billion rand by hosting guests through Airbnb. A new report released by the company last month shows how the platform is helping locals benefit from tourism. Let's find out more from Velma Corcoran, a country manager for Airbnb South Africa. She joins us via Skype. Velma, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. Airbnb is fast becoming the preferred option for locals and internationals. Tell us more about the findings of this research.
Yeah, so just to give you a little bit of a context. So generally, in a country like South Africa where we see significant growth, there are often a lot of questions about Airbnb. And so we published this report to show the positive impact that Airbnb can have on a country like South Africa. And the report included some of our stats, but also independent analysis by Genesis Analytics that looked at the economic impact. So the report highlights three things. The first is that Airbnb can help grow tourism, and we see that we tend to attract a tourist that's looking for new and different experiences. So since the platform started, which is about 10 years, we've welcomed more than 2 million guests to South Africa. But very encouraging is that half of those came in the last year. And we see that of those guests, 2/3 want to live like a local, and 8 out of 10 of them actually want to go and stay in a specific neighborhood. The second thing is really the positive impact that Airbnb can have on the economy. As you mentioned, hosts on Airbnb have earned 3.8 billion rand in the last year. And we see that the direct and indirect spend of the direct and indirect impact of our guests' spending and host income amounted to 8.7 billion rand and contributed to over 22,000 jobs. And then the last thing that we've just seen is the ability to empower a diverse range of people in diverse communities. So we now have more than 35,000 hosts in South Africa. These are typically people who are doing this occasionally. They earn around 28,000 rand a year. Interestingly, 65% of them are women, and 50% of them are people who are either freelancers, entrepreneurs, or stay-at-home parents trying to, earn a little bit of extra income.
So tell us how easy it is to actually become a host of Airbnb. You say 35,000 people already doing it. Do you just sign up? Do you post pics on the app? I mean, do you vet people? How does it work?
So the way that it works is, anyone who has a room in their home or a whole home can sign up to be a host on Airbnb. And we have a number of categories that range from, private room to whole home. You can now even come on if you are, a bed and breakfast and a guest house. And you literally go onto the platform, you write a description of your, we refer to it as a listing of your home. You upload some pictures, and you can, set your availability and you go live. We don't necessarily vet people, but the platform is really based on trust and safety. So one of the things that distinguishes Airbnb from other platforms is the dual review system. So the host, if your guests go and stay with you, they review you. So, typically people wouldn't really stay in a place unless they have reviews. But also the host gets to review the guests.
Yeah.
So, and so that really sort of contributes to the trust and safety on the platform.
Now, there have been calls for the service to be regulated in South Africa, particularly from the Tourism Business Council. It, of course, says that Airbnb is threatening the viability of conventional lodging. That, of course, is a concern that it says will lead to job losses.
Yeah, so I think, one of the things that we've seen from the economic impact study is that, the Airbnb contributed to 22,000 jobs in the country. We also see that 1/3 of our guests would not have come if it weren't for Airbnb. So we really believe in the potential of the platform to grow the overall size of the pie. When it comes to regulations, we actually see that our host community want to be regulated because it makes it very clear for them around, what to expect and what the rules are. But we see that this is a new thing, and that you need, new rules for a new thing. So typically, when we think about regulation, it needs to be fair and appropriate. So someone who is, renting out their home or hosting their home for 20 days a year shouldn't necessarily be subject to the same rules and regulations as a 200-bed hotel.
Yeah.
We have seen, we have agreements with more than 500 cities around the world where we've, worked as partners to those cities to create fair rules for home sharing that actually support, the greater, the objectives of the country or the city that they're in. And actually, Tourism Minister, Minister Hanekom spoke on Wednesday night at a function. And, when we was questioned on regulations, we've engaged with the National Department on a number of times, said that, regulation is absolutely something that the departments are looking at. It's just a case of what that looks like. And he really believes that there is a scenario where you can create, where Airbnb can be complementary to the existing tourism industry and actually grow the overall size of the pie and grow jobs.
All right, thank you so much for your time and your insight. We do appreciate it. That was Velma Corcoran, Country Manager of Airbnb South Africa.